Hi Emily, thank you for your video and your proposal in the table. I agree with your assessment that the financial position of the city is currently poor. As you have noted, the financial performance ratio is less than 1 and debt levels are very high. You have identified that while the city can lean on the federal government for a time, this position cannot be sustained in the longer term, particularly given the current policy around debt reduction, which cannot be achieved if the situation persists as is. I also agree with you that the full financial picture regarding solvency is not clear with the information at hand. You have a clear understanding of the differences between exchange and non-exchange transactions, and you have highlighted the risks of increasing operational revenue too dramatically, while highlighting the possibility of increases in income tax being less impacting on those most vulnerable. Viewing your table, it is clear that you've been able to achieve a surplus over the 5 years, which is positive. I agree that the grant will assist in reducing the overall impact of the policies and changes made, particularly at a time of economic downturn. And you have also touched on the broader economic risks of reducing people's ability to spend in the longer term. I also liked your use of additional reference to provide support for your proposal, particularly the role of the federal government to assist in addressing the causes of financial difficulties at these times. I also appreciate your clear explanations around how exactly the proposed reductions in costs and increases in revenue are to be achieved, with some great ideas around a cap on hiring and reassessment of operational costs, such as reducing duplication of services. I am cautious around the significant operational expenditure cuts, however, as there is a limit to how much these can be reduced without impacting the quality and level of service delivery. And it may be that the government has requirements under legislation around quality and service provision that require this expenditure, and the public may be expecting a certain outcomes on the basis of election policies. And so cuts may not be politically popular. However, your increase in taxation revenue is not as significant as other proposals, and it may be subsequently that the public is understanding of these cuts. With regards to the idea of a universal basic income, while it is an excellent financial consideration and has other benefits associated with public value and social well-being, as I understand it, I am somewhat concerned about how the public would receive such a dramatic shift in policy and whether it would be achievable from a policy legislation implementation perspective in such a short time frame of a year. I wonder whether the city has enough political goodwill to achieve such a goal, and that it may be too risky from the perspective of maintaining political power at a federal level, at least in the short term. As a government, we need to consider both the social, political, as well as the financial impacts of such decisions. I would approve your proposal. However, I would need extra detail about the implementation of the universal basic income. Thanks again, Emily.